1 second, they're together.
We're here at the Silverstone Museum with this, the absolutely stunning Jordan 191. And as you can see, I'm really excited to have it here. I've even got the team kit from back in the day, the t-shirts and including my own hoodie from when this car raced back in 1991. The car is absolutely outstanding, iconic with this colour scheme. The green 7-Up Jordan really shone on TV. The green colour was completely different to everything else that was being run in Formula One at the time, and it was a great piece of marketing and got the car lots of recognition. The car's also significant because this is the first season that the then Jordan Grand Prix team raced in Formula One. Eddie Jordan had been very successful in Formula 2 and Formula 3 racing, or Formula 3000 as it was back then. He decided to go into Formula 1, and this was the gorgeous car they entered the races in. It had its first test here at Silverstone Circuit with the legend John Watson driving the car. Back then it was called the Jordan 911, but Porsche got a little bit upset with the 911 moniker, and therefore the car became the 191. The drivers of this car originally, Andre de Cesaris and Bertrand Gachot, were very, very successful. They managed to get the car in the races, and by the time they got to the Canadian Grand Prix, this car actually had its first ever points finish, with both cars finishing in the points that race. It was absolutely outstanding. There was another twist in the story that year. Bertrand Gachot, the Belgian driver, actually had an altercation with a taxi driver in London earlier on in the year, and he ended up having to serve a custodial sentence after a judge deemed that what he'd done actually deserved some kind of punishment. That led Jordan to having a little bit of an issue. They had nobody to sit in this cockpit. The decision was taken after a bit of toing and froing with different drivers that Michael Schumacher, the now legendary 7-time world champion, would make his Grand Prix debut at the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa of 1991. Michael qualified the car an outstanding 7th place on the grid. Unfortunately though, by the time the race started, there was only made it a few hundred metres in the race. But that was enough for Michael to grab the attention of other team owners, and he got offered a job with the Benetton performance in this car. So he actually only raced once in this car. And this is the actual car that Michael Schumacher raced. It's the one that performed on TV Piece not so long ago with his son Mick Schumacher driving this car. And if we bring the camera in here, our summer of F1 here at the Silverstone Museum that will run through till September 2023.
This is the teapot, but before you put the water in the teapot, you must first heat the teapot to make the perfect cup of tea. And you get your famous English PG tips tea bags, and you throw them in, like so. Then after, you wait, this must be boiling. In Italy they don't understand what boiling is. It means it is boiling, not half boiling, fully boiling. You wait some time because it has to feel the smell and to really feel the expression of the pure tea. Not like espresso. Tea is the best you can imagine. Fantastic. The most refreshing drink in the world. When you proper China tea, you put the milk in first and then the tea. But in this, because it's, as you can see, it's not China, you then put this in here. And Andrea does not like milk, but he has to have this before he goes to the tea. So, Andrea, thank you.
Silverstone also has a special meaning for Eddie Jordan. In his first Formula One season, Jordan's team has rocked the establishment by not only getting out of pre-qualifying, but by jumping all the way up to 6th place in the constructors' standings. It's from Silverstone that Jordan runs his team, from workshops behind the main woodcut grandstand.
Eddie I knew really, I think, middle, late 70s when he was racing himself in Formula Ford and the Junior Formula. At that time I was a Grand Prix driver, and then Eddie had a number of accidents, and of course he then decided to give up racing and take up race management and running his own team.
Let me ask you another difficult question. If I were to count back all the world champions, and after all this is the 500th Grand Prix, that if you totaled up all of those great champions, the number of times they had made contact with other drivers, that you in the last 36 months or 48 months have been in contact with more other cars and drivers than they might have done in total.
I find amazing for you to make such a question, Stewart, because you are very experienced and you know a lot about racing. And you should know that by being a racing driver, you are under risk all the time. And by being a racing driver means you are racing with other people. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Because we are competing. We are competing to win. And the main motivation to all of us is to compete for a victory. It's not to come 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th. I race to win, as long as I feel it's possible. Sometimes you get it wrong, sure. It's impossible to get it right all the time. But I race designed to win. And as long as I feel I'm doing it right. Some people agree, some don't. In the end, I'm the one who is doing. I'm the one who is driving. And I can only do what speaks for my mind.
Now you can see there, as we look at Nigel Mansell sitting impassively in his Williams, that the tyres of his car are completely enrobed in blankets which get the tyres up to racing temperature as near as makes no difference, and that of course saves drivers having to wait for 2 or 3 laps before they really give it a bootful. But it doesn't give any particular team an advantage, because any team in Grand Prix racing that wants to have that equipment can have it. It's a fairly big budget item in itself, but in comparison with the costs of many other things that make up the car, it's a pinprick, and it's a very important addition. So Nigel sitting there, the umbrella. It's getting quite hot at Silverstone, I can tell you that, and in that cockpit it will soon be hotter still. There have been temperatures of about 150 degrees at some of the races, like Brazil, where it gets very hot indeed. And there's just a vestigial windscreen in front of Nigel Mansell's visor and most of the other cars. Look at the heat haze. I told you it was hot, and that's how hot it is. And now you can almost feel the tension rising, because the instruction has been given slowly to clear the grid. The officials are moving away. The mechanics are wheeling away the pressurized air bottles that are used to start the engines of these cars, and very soon the grid will be completely clear, and the signal will be given to start on the parade lap, the final rolling lap before the 59-lap British Grand Prix begins.
So, engines and away they go on the parade lap, warming tyres up. Nigel Mansell, the pole man, to lead them round. So, Copse Corner survives from the old circuit with only minor modifications, and now we move up through Maggots, and this is where it changes. They turn right, then left, then right again through the Beckett's complex as it now is, and that's very quick indeed through the first right and left, and putting enormous G, 4.5 G in the corners, with 9 accounted momentarily as they change direction. Now down the Hanger Straight, you see Mansell going away and into Stowe, which is now a slower corner as it tightens up into 4th gear, and they go around and then they keep turning right. You can see the old circuit now going straight on, and they go down through the Vale, which is a wiggly complex, and then hard on the brakes, where we expect overtaking to be possible here for the 2nd gear left-hander that you see them now in the distance there, still in 2nd gear, tight right, and then up through the gearbox as they accelerate out through the old Stowe corner. Sorry, the Club corner rather, old Club corner. And now back onto the old circuit, you know, through a little road at the airfield here, through Abbey Curve. And that's Mansell giving it a boot up through Abbey, and then we come back to Mornew, under the bridge, and here, Bridge Corner. And the definition of this corner from the drivers who've been on it is unanimous, and it is mighty. And and that may mean it's a big hairy corner and it's really quick. In qualifying yesterday on the sticky tires with the light fuel load, the really quick men were taking it absolutely flat, but it was mighty exciting doing that. When I say flat, I mean no lift off the throttle at all. In race trim, with the full fuel load on, and even later in the race today, they'll be just lifting, but they'll still be taking the corner in top. A little lift. Now, the second gear as they come round, the what one might call the stadium complex with all the grandstands around. Second gear, they go left and left again. And a short squirt down that little straight to where Mansell leads them round. Second gear for the right-hander there. Little short squirt where he is now. There he goes. And then the another right-hander and out onto the circuit, back onto the old circuit, onto the old, rejoining the old Woodcote corner. So that's Senna coming up alongside Mansell there, just practicing a start. So we look down on the front row pair. They'll be leading, Mansell will be leading the field in as soon as he can now, because all 26 cars behind him had to take up their grid positions and stop in the right place before the red lights will go on, and the starter has to be satisfied that everybody's in position. And there is Mansell looking straight into his eyes, but with the darkened visor we can't see much inside his helmet. He will now be trying hard to relax as the field all comes slowly onto their grid position, and when they're all stopped there will be a signal from the back of the grid. A green flag will be waved. That is the signal for the starter that everybody's ready. He will then press the red button, 4 seconds approximately of red light, green, and we're off.
The man in the green flag will go across. There he is. He's ready. They're ready to go now. And they go away very quickly indeed. It's a brilliant start. Time to sprint his way through. Somebody's gone off and I can't see who it is from here.
Yes, tremendous stuff. Be good. Brave stuff. He's flying around, and there's been an incident. There's certainly been contact.
He's right up alongside him. No, dropping back a bit as they come out the left-handed.
Looking like an attack by the inside. He's nipped back inside it. Tremendously cheeky and wonderful stuff. Real racer stuff. And he's still trying.
And the spot that there's a red line height and a very heavy fuel load. So coming through to complete lap one.
Yes, tremendous charging first laps as we've come to expect, and to great effect.
Grand Prix driver Jonathan Palmer. What is it, Jonathan?
Well, apparently, Murray, what happened was that off the line was in first gear and got a lot of wheel spin.
New fastest lap.
that certainly looked like a box full of neutrals. They seem to be fumbling for gears there.
He's stopping. He's stopping. He's banging his steering wheel in frustration. Something has happened. It looks as though he's out of the race.
It looks like he might be out of fuel. Again, puts, particularly with slow corners, puts a big strain on transmissions because the rear wheels are trying to come off the ground and they're grabbing as they go light and then land again, and that puts a big torsional strain through the drive shaft.
F1 はデータをスポーツにしている。世界標準ラップトップコンピューター東芝 J3100 シリーズ。
Otto, that was some race.
Thanks. No, I'm very pleased with having one today. It just all went smoothly. Pit stops were good, the car bounced well and chose the right tires. I guess someone up there pressed all the right buttons.
Imaginez la technologie des voitures de course de F1 dans un environnement un peu plus spacieux. Alors durant l'événement Formule gagnante de Honda, procurez-vous la Honda CR-V à partir de 288 $ par mois. Faites vite, un essai routier comme celui de Honda, il n'y en a pas d'autre. Tout comme il n'y a pas d'autre événement comme l'événement Formule gagnante de Honda.
Will go across. There he is. He's ready. They're ready to go now. And they're away very quickly indeed. It's a brilliant start. Somebody's gone off, and I can't see who it is from here.
Yes, tremendous stuff. He good. The car got a little bit of a twitch, but it was all right. Now we see debris in the background flying around, and there's been an incident, there's certainly been contact.
He's right up alongside him. No, dropping back a bit as they come out of the left hand.
Looking like an attack down the inside. He's nipped back inside. Tremendously cheeky and wonderful stuff. And real racer stuff. And he's still trying.
And the sparks flying, showing that there's a low ride height and a very heavy fuel load. So coming
yes, tremendous charge in first lap.
down in the pit lane, the man who's got the story for us, Grand Prix driver Jonathan Palmer. What is it, Jonathan?
Well, apparently, Murray, what happened was that off the line, he was in first gear and got a lot of wheel spin.
New fastest lap of the race goes on the captions. New fastest lap of the race goes on the captions.
And they're really just chipping away at this fastest lap. There's nobody going...
A tecnologia Petrobras é testada nos mais modernos laboratórios do mundo. As pistas, mas não é qualquer pista, né? Amigo, oi, isso aqui é um centro de pesquisa. Tecnologia Petrobras, a única no Brasil testada e aprovada em condições extremas pela equipe AT&T Williams F1, das pistas mais exigentes do mundo, para você usar no seu carro. Petrobras, o desafio é a nossa energia.
In the soul of every Bridgestone Potenza lies the twists and turns of the legendary Formula One Grand Prix courses of the world, the ultimate proving grounds of tyre technology. Using a tapered tread element derived from the Potenza Racing Rain tyre, the Potenza RE910 Street tyre handles the road wet or dry. Made with Unity, Bridgestone's ultimate tyre technology. Bridgestone Potenza, technology-driven performance used on every Grand Prix course of Formula One.
Way through, somebody's gone off and I can't see who it is from here.
Tremendous stuff he could. Brave stuff as he was right on the limit to go through the car. A little bit of a twitch, but he was all right. Now you see debris in the background flying around, and there's been an incident, there's certainly been contact.
He's right up alongside him. That there's a low ride height and a very heavy fuel load. So down in the pit lane, the man who's got the story for us, Grand Prix driver Jonathan Palmer. What is it, Jonathan?
Well, apparently, Murray, what happened was that off the line was in first gear and got a lot of wheels in. New fast.
Yes, he looks like a man who means business today. He's certainly charging. But I saw a puff of smoke. You watch. I saw it just out of the car, and there it is, and it's got a bit worse. So, but remember, we saw Berger's car smoke when he was driving the Ferrari throughout a Grand Prix, for a whole Grand Prix, and still finish the race. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's terminal, but that is a bit more than just a puff like an overfilled tank or the breather, because if they're a bit worried about it. puff of smoke. You watch. I saw it just out of the car, and there it is, and it's got a bit worse. So, but remember, couple of neutrals. They seem to be fumbling for gears there.
He's stopping. He's stopping. He's banging his steering wheel in frustration. Something is...
Transmissions, because the rear wheels are trying to come off the ground and they're grabbing as they... Nigel Mansell. And in fact, Senna may still pick up points for fifth place because he'd already completed 58 laps as Berger finishes. But Senna will, in fact, slot into fifth place, I believe. But certainly that's a points bonus for Mansell in the chase for the championship. And there is Ayrton Senna. Must be very disappointed, but he has had luck this year already.
Well, a race is never over until the drivers see the checkered flag. Nigel Mansell has seen it. Ayrton Senna is not going to see it. Berger finishes second. Alain Prost has finished in third position. Now that will mean that Senna should finish in fourth place because he was further on the last lap than Nelson Piquet, who had already been lapped. But let us just enjoy this if you are a British enthusiast. And Nigel Mansell stops to take his rival Ayrton Senna back to the pits. On your way, Nigel, says Senna with a tap on the helmet. Get off it, he says to the official or the spectator who comes. Well, you know, there has been a lot of talk about bad blood between Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna. This proves that there is not any bad blood.
Yeah, that also proves that it was a jolly good idea to put that camera on the front facing backwards, because we can get a look at both of them. Crowd have come over the fences. Has become traditional here now in the last few years. And in fact, that's brave stuff by Senna, because you need a lot of strength to hold on to one of those things. And at the end of a long Grand Prix, the arms aren't feeling too strong. But Mansell taking it very slowly. You're aware that it's not a happy thing to fall off a Grand Prix car. The highly polished bodywork is pretty slippery. But what a lovely scene.
I really like that Mansell voluntarily stops. He could have driven on. It was the decent thing to do, and as I said, it disproves the belief that there was enmity between the two men. So Nigel Mansell, a very, very justified and a very, very happy winner of his third British Grand Prix, carries home the man who leads the championship still by 21 points. It's going to get closer and closer from now on. We go to Germany on July the 28th, then to Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Japan, and we finish the Grand Prix season of 1991 in Australia at Adelaide on November the 3rd. So there's a lot of racing mileage to be done. McLaren have got to catch up. Williams will try to stay ahead. Ferrari, of course, will be trying equally hard to close on both of them. And with the news that Tom Walkinshaw has bought into the Benetton team, we can expect that to be pulled very tightly together with the famous Walkinshaw leadership and discipline applied. The Grand Prix season of 1991 is getting better and better, but for Britain and for the spectators at Silverstone, this will do very nicely. Thank you. Nigel Mansell wins. The crowd invade the pit lane, and being British, as soon as they are asked to go back, they'll go back. What a wonderful scene. Mansell won the British Grand Prix by 42 seconds from Gerhard Berger. Alain Prost finished in third place. Only those three completed the full distance, thanks for the ride of Nigel, says Ayrton Senna, who finished in fourth place, one lap down, ahead of Nelson Piquet fifth. Bertrand Gachot completes the race in the points for Jordan, with Modena 7th, Nakajima 8th, Martini 9th, Pirro 10th, Morbidelli 11th, Hakkinen 12th in the second Lotus, JJ Leto in 13th place, and Johnny Herbert struck a problem at the end but still finished in 14th position. So now the cars will go to the Parc Fermé, and in the Parc Fermé they will be examined by FISA officials, the Fédération Internationale Sportive Automobile, the governing body of world motorsport. Charlie Whiting, the ex-Brabham chief mechanic, will be there to make sure that everything is in order. But a Williams Renault won, and that means to say, of course, that that's the third Grand Prix in succession that a Renault engine has 1 for the Williams team, Patrese in Mexico, Mansell in France, Mansell in Britain. It's getting closer and closer and more interesting all the time. The Honda V12 powered McLaren of Gerhard Berger second, and then of course the V12 Ferrari powered Ferrari of Alain Prost in third place. Hard luck for Ayrton Senna, but he still gets 3 points to add to the 48 that he already had. So the gap is actually closer than I had prophesied at the time when I expected him to be second, as Mansell comes into the garage. Now, the Drivers' Championship after the first 8 rounds, confirms that Ayrton Senna leads with 51 points ahead of Nigel Mansell, second. In third position, Riccardo Patrese. Fourth, Alain Prost. Fifth, Nelson Piquet. Sixth, Gerhard Berger. Mansell in the magnificent new press centre, the Jimmy Brown Centre, named after the late track manager of Silverstone that built it up over the years, and it's his son Hamish who runs Silverstone now. It's a bit tough on Nigel. He's got to climb all these stairs, but I'm sure he'll find the energy and the adrenaline to do it without a problem. He's a tremendously fit man, puffing his cheeks out a bit. Gary Crumpler, who is the Williams public relations manager, greets his driver home. And they're going into the interview room now. The cars go to the Parc Fermé. The top 3 drivers, Mansell, Berger and Prost, will go into the interview room. And incidentally, a word about Gerhard Berger. That's only his third race finish, and he's yet to finish lower than third. And that's Jean-Marie Balestre, who is the president of FISA. Alain Prost, third position. Nigel Mansell in front of the adoring British crowd, with Monsieur Jean-Marie Balestre. Well done, Nigel. The strains of the national anthem die down, 3 enormously popular Grand Prix racing drivers on the podium. On the left, Gerhard Berger, receiving the winner's award from His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent. Nigel Mansell. He led on lap 1 and he led on every one of the other 58 laps. He made the fastest lap. And Alain Prost finishes in third place to take 4 points. And on the left, on the extreme left, receiving the Gold Cup, is Patrick Head, the chief designer, the man who leads the design team at Williams. And I emphasise design team, there he is, because no one man designs a Grand Prix car these days. It's down to a number of specialists in their various departments, engine, chassis, suspension and so on. And what a wonderful sight that is after all the talk about bad feelings there have been. Nigel Mansell lifts the arms of Gerhard Berger and Alain Prost.
By Mr. Peter Bartel of Foster's.
Oh, now the moment that the photographers dread. It's champagne time. And Patrick Head is getting it. That's what you get for leading the design team which produced a race-winning car. But it's not too much. Take that, Alan Prost. I know it's childish, but it really is. It's a great way of letting off steam. And Nigel throws, I think it was probably one of his gloves to the crowd. Remember last year when he was driving for Ferrari, he threw his balaclava and both his gloves into the crowd after he had despairingly retired his Ferrari after a magnificent drive. What a wonderful showman Nigel is. They're his crowd, and he is their man. But his day isn't over yet. It's into the interview room to tell the television networks all over the world, and I mean all over the world, because we are talking to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, Hong Kong. And there are, of course, commentators from all the European, South American and other countries telling the world about Nigel Mansell's victory in the 1991 British Grand Prix at Silverstone, beating Gerhard Berger's McLaren to second place, Alain Prost Ferrari to third position, Ayrton Senna, his chief rival in the World Championship, to fourth place, Nelson Piquet, 3 times a world champion, fifth position, and Bertrand Gachot for the new superb Jordan Ford team takes 6th position and the 4th consecutive World Championship points position this year. Yes, Prost getting rid of the champagne. Gerhard Berger doesn't actually look particularly pleased about his second place. Yes, I will sign the cup. And he does so. The champagne, rather. Nigel? I wonder if Roseanne makes him look after the silver like that at their Port Erin home. Give it a rub, Nigel. Prost and Berger.
Give him the mic, please. Back.
I love Nigel industriously polishing his cup. And right now, there in the interview room to find out what happened from their point of view is Jonathan Palmer.
Nigel, congratulations on an absolutely superb performance. That was the one the crowd wanted, and it came. Did you have any problems on what looked to be a pretty easy race?
Oh, Jonathan, you know that isn't true. It was a hard race, and I blistered my first set of tyres and had to stop for tyres. I was trying. And then the last 10 laps, I was making half the gear changes I usually make because I had big problems with the gearbox. And in fact, the whole last lap, I went around the last 2 laps in 1 gear. And so I'm just pleased it wasn't any more laps than it was, because God forbid if we would have stopped again on the last lap.
Okay, Gerhard, things didn't seem to start too well. There was an incident with Patrese, then a pit stop earlier on, but this time your luck seemed to change. And whilst it's unfortunate for Ayrton, we're all absolutely thrilled to see you in second place. Any problems for you on the way?
Yeah, the big problem, because Patrese just went over my front suspension. I had the front suspension bent, and the steering wheel was like this, and I could had all the blistered here, and I couldn't even on one side I couldn't steering right. So the tires gone, the first one, quite early, so I had to change tires, and then I just did so smooth as possible to not destroy the second set of tires.
Okay, Alain. It seemed at one time that you weren't going to stop for tyres there, but then after, I think it was the avoidance of the De Cesaris incident, you then came in. Did you plan on stopping for tyres? And if not, could you possibly have caught Gerhard, do you think? Or...
I think so. But because with the first set I was quite well. In fact, I spun first. I don't know what happened. Alizé lost some oil, got some oil on the screen, and I did a mistake. I touched the curb and I spun. Then the car was going quite well, even at the beginning, but Alizé overtook me in a very small room. And then I got some debris from the Cesaris crash, and I had to stop for tires, but I did not plan to stop. My tires were very good.
Back to Nigel. Please.
Nigel, that tyre stop, it seemed a little bit late. Was it purely precautionary, or did you need that second set of tyres?
No, I needed a second set of tyres because of the wheel weights. I think I lost one on the front and one on the back. I know I blistered them, but it was a vibration that made me stop. But the team did a great pit stop and came out. Then other than the last 10 laps when my heart was in my mouth, I mean, I was happy, but oh boy, the last few laps was hurting, because when you pull for a gear and it doesn't go in gear and you're stuck in neutral, you have to get another gear, otherwise everything will stop. And I had about 2 or 3 frights, but I mean, I'm here, so I'm happy.
Well, you were certainly the pre-race favourite here. All the crowd were backing you. How does it feel now to have actually done it here in front of the British crowd at Silverstone?
Well, it's strange, but I probably don't believe it. I mean, the crowd are just incredible, aren't they? I mean, my heart goes out to them. I thank them very much for the support. It is absolutely fantastic. It feels great, honestly.
Nigel Mansell, superb.
Well, that just shows, and there's a Mansell supporter if ever I saw one, that just shows that you can't always believe what you see. Those words of Nigel Mansell confirm that Williams have not overcome their semi-automatic gearbox problem. It means that they've had a problem in every race this year, and just as Senna was lucky to finish in all the first 4 Grand Prix and win them, so obviously was Mansell lucky to finish in the lead and to win here at Silverstone. And of course, Gerhard Berger's drive with the broken front suspension, or bent front suspension, was equally praiseworthy. But in the end, Nigel Mansell wins the British Grand Prix from Gerhard Berger's McLaren, Alain Prost's Ferrari, Ayrton Senna's McLaren and Nelson Piquet's Benetton, with Bertrand Gachot in the Jordan Ford in 6th place. Stefano Modena 7th, a lap down, as was Nakajima in 8th place, Pierluigi Martini in 9th position, Emanuele Pirro 10th, 2 laps down, ahead of Morbidelli 11th, and in 12th place Mika Hakkinen. Then the last 2 finishers, JJ Leto in the Dallara, and 4 laps down, Britain's Johnny Herbert in the Lotus. Well, the crowd is on the circuit. There's the Brazilian flags there, but Ayrton Senna's lead over Nigel Mansell in the World Championship is reduced to, what, 18 points? And Riccardo Patrese, 3rd, 11 points behind Nigel Mansell, with Alain Prost in 4th position. And McLaren, thanks to both their men finishing in the points, are now 22 points ahead of Williams Renault, with Ferrari in 3rd place. Well, Benetton, Tyrrell and Jordan in 4th, 5th and 6th places in the Constructors' Championship. It's been a marvellous race. So, a superb, virtually start to finish 18th Grand Prix win for Nigel Mansell. But his revelation after the race that he'd had severe gearbox problems showed that Williams have still got work to do before they can guarantee reliability. A surprise but well-deserved 2nd place for Gerhard Berger in spite of his deranged suspension, and Alain Prost 3rd, the only other driver to go the full distance. Tough luck for Senna, whose problem was fuel starvation, but he still finished in the points at 4th, a lap down ahead of Nelson Piquet. And Bertrand Gachot's 6th place made it a great day for the Jordan team. Senna's last lap problem means his World Championship lead over Mansell has shrunk to 18 points, and that Mansell could still win the championship, because he's now well ahead of Patrese, Prost, Piquet and Berger. In the Constructors' Championship, both McLarens finishing in the top 6 means that the Woking team now head Williams by 12 points, a comfortable situation, with the rest, Ferrari, Benetton, Tyrrell and the superb Jordan team sliding out of touch. Well, the 1991 Grand Prix season's well and truly alive now.